Thank you so much. You really didn't have to. I've just been through 4 years where everyone stood up as soon as I entered the room. You're just gonna keep spoiling me. You're gonna make me nostalgic. I want to begin by thanking the wonderful Marisa Kingston, the head of this Department of Gender Studies. Marisa, where are you? Where are you, Marisa? There she is, everyone. This would not be possible without this woman. This would not be possible without this woman. Ay, maldita sea. This... Otra vez, otra vez. Oh no! Yes, I'm so happy to be here. 4 years. Everyone stood up. Oh, Marisa, we love you. Yay! So, let me just begin. Let me just begin by saying that even though this will sound cliche, you are right now at the best point of your lives. Being a student is the best point in life. How old are you?
25.
20? Oh! How old are you? Yes, you.
56.
18! 18 years old and already has the maturity to be in these kind of contexts. When I was that age, when I was that age, someone had told me that one day I would be at the London School of Economics, at the Department of Gender Studies, speaking to the female leaders of the future, because I would have achieved the dream of becoming president. I would not have believed them, because I was a woman. No. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. But can I have that, please? Oh, thank you. You look like you were waiting for me to take it. Look. I've been given speeches all my life. Giving speeches for me is like voting Brexit for a British MP. I do it every day, like 5 times a day. And now I've been here for hours trying to come up with something inspiring to say to these young people that I'm meeting tomorrow. And that's a good question. How do you inspire young people? Anyone? Ideas, comments, suggestions? No? Come on, you're my subconscious. You're meant to know these things. That's what you're here for. Still no? If I have some more wine, will it get easier to listen to?
Workshops.
Huh? Workshops. Now.
Memento mori.
Which one?
Memento mori.
I don't understand.
Remember about death.
Death?
Yeah.
That's not very inspirational, but I don't judge. Everyone, it's a very open society.
Music.
Music. Inspire them with music. No, I have the most useless subconscious in the world.
Role models.
Role models. Yes, that could do. Role models. Yes, Thank you. Role models, like something to follow, like a guide. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank you. I'll come for some back later. So, something useful. So, I take it that if you are all here today is, first of all, because you love me, and second of all, because you want to be the leaders of the future. You want to be the heads of state, the presidents, the prime ministers. I did it, and you want to know how I did it. So I'm gonna tell you. I am going to give you a quick, easy to follow, 9-step guide on how to become a president in Colombia or a prime minister in the United Kingdom. Let's begin. Be born in the right place, to a family of money and grace. Or do I mean the right race? In Bogota or Medellin, West London or home counties. But most importantly, must be well off financially. And what this would eventually mean is that eventually you win. Go to a fancy private school. If you're in England, Italy school. If you're in Colombia, learn English. Only Spanish is pretty poor. And what this would eventually mean is that eventually you win. And then it's time for university. Please don't choose on the basis of diversity. Javeriana, Andes, Oxford, Cambridge, Javeriana, Andes, Oxford, Cambridge, Javeriana, anoten, Andes, Oxford, Cambridge. And what this will eventually mean is that eventually what? You win. So, you are young and you love politics. Yeah, you know how to keep going. Every party has a student branch. Join the one that you most like. No, wait, no, don't do that. Don't join the one that you most like. Because then, I think most of you would join like the Green Party and never become presidents. So just keep it simple and choose one of the two parties that you know will win. We all know which ones those are. So let's imagine that the winning party is called X. You'll do everything for X. Collect signatures for X. Be the student leader of X. And what this will eventually mean is that eventually you win. So these elections were a success for the candidate of X. You gave everything for X. Now go get what you deserve. Ask for a job from your candidate. No, they will accept, they see your hunger, become the assistant of the assistant of the assistant of your candidate. And then win. And then become the assistant of the assistant of your candidate. And then win. And then just be the assistant of your candidate and you win. So you've been assistant for a few years now. It's time for your first elections. No, not national yet. Go step by step. Concejal or local council. These elections you can easily handle. And with the leverage of X, you won't even need to pray with candles. Do this and you will see that eventually, what? You win. Yes, winner mentality. Let's keep going. So, your life is going perfect. You are now ready for the Senate. Find your country's biggest fear and say that you are the savior with the spear. That and a well-financed campaign will give you a happy senator face. And what this will eventually mean is that eventually what? You win! And then keep climbing up those ranks. Ser ministro es lo que va. If you're in England, this translates to joining the cabinet. Push for the hardest ministries out there. Foreign affairs, justice, defense. Avoid culture or environment. Remember, you want to be president. Do this and you will see that eventually you win. And here it comes the final rhyme. Because it's time to run. It's time for a fierce campaign. It's time to make the change you want to make. You have the leverage of X. Your experience has the weight. Your team, the right skill set. Your branding is perfect. Senior politicians trust you. The establishment trusts you. Big businesses finance you. You are a safe option, aren't you? With all these assets behind you, the people will vote you. And you win! And you win! Yes. The funny thing is, that's not how it happened for me. My story is completely different. Completely different from that. Acábate la sopa para irnos a dormir. Mamá, ¿cómo me la acabo si ni siquiera puedo ver? No sé en dónde está la sopa. Sí sabes, termina. No, en serio, mamá, no puedo, está muy oscuro. Si intento comer me voy a apuñalar con la cuchara por accidente. No digas tonterías. Yo voy a lavarme los dientes y a ponerme la pijama. Si cuando yo vuelva tú te has acabado la sopa, te puedes comer un brownie después. Si no, te vas a quedar ahí sentada toda la noche en la oscuridad hasta que te acabes la sopa. Bueno, pero ¿me la calientas? Es que ya está fría y fea. Eso es culpa tuya por demorarte tanto comiendo. Además, si se fue la luz, ¿con qué quieres que la caliente? ¿Con magia? ¡Sí! Ya se me acabó la magia ahora. Termino. Si no me calientas la sopa, Pablo Escobar te va a matar. ¿A ti quién te dijo que eso era chistoso? No es un chiste, es en serio. Yo soy Pablo Escobar y te voy a picar en pedazos en la oscuridad. Escúchame muy bien, niñita estúpida. Ese demonio probablemente está picando a gente en pedazos en la oscuridad en este momento. No hay nadie en este país que esté a salvo de que eso le pase. Ni siquiera tú. Así que, pues yo sí. ¿Tú sí qué? Yo sí estoy a salvo. Porque yo le voy a ganar a Pablo Escobar. Y voy a salvar a todo el mundo. Y te voy a salvar a ti, mamá, para que dejes de estar tan mal geniada y asustada todo el tiempo. Tú no vas a hacer nada de eso. Tú eres una niñita que se va a acabar la sopita y se va a meter a la camita para ir al colegio mañana. Y Patricia, donde tú vuelvas a hacer un chiste sobre Pablo Escobar, no sabes el castigo que te espera. Blackouts are fascinating. what's really interesting? The language that we use to describe them. So in English, what are the words that we use to talk about a blackout? Blackout is one. What else? Power cut. Anything else? Power outage, power out, power failure. So if you see all of these words most of these words have the word power in them, except for blackout. That's the only exception. In Spanish, things work completely differently. So in Colombia, we just say, se fue la luz, like the light is gone. The only word in Spanish that is specific to talk about blackouts is apagón, which doesn't have an actual translation to English, but the word apagón comes from the verb apagar, which means to switch off. So a translation would be something like a massive switch off. However, all the other words that we use in Spanish to describe the word power out are corte, cut, interrupción, interruption, cese, the end, extinción, extinction. And then it starts making more sense because it starts getting a bit apocalyptic, which makes perfect sense because in my head, blackouts feel apocalyptic. They feel cryptic, like they hide something, ecliptic, like a halt in civilization, opening a new dimension. Jump in, let go, give in. They whisper it like an invitation. Temptation to let go and get lost in that bewitching thing that haunts and calls whenever the power goes off. Power outs, blackouts. There's 3 different types of blackouts, did you know? And the classification depends on the effects that these have, but also on where is the damage. Is the damage in the distribution system, or is it in the source of power? So, if the damage is in the distribution system, that's type 1, and we call it a permanent failure, which is ridiculous because it's not permanent at all. It just means that there's a tiny fault in a power line, or in a substation, or in another tiny bit of the distribution system. As soon as this fault gets fixed, power is automatically restored. And the good thing about this type of power cuts is that it only affects a small area. So it's basically like when a light bulb gets damaged in your house. You change it, the problem is fixed, and it will never affect the electricity of the whole household. Type 2 is called a brownout, and it's my personal favorite because I like the color brown, but also because my first kiss was during a brownout. So I call them the romantic ones because they cause dim light. So there's many reasons why this can happen, but it's because of a general drop in voltage. A general drop in voltage can be caused, for example, by weather conditions, like a tropical storm. So it just may happen that you're gonna find yourselves. Actually, let's close our eyes to imagine this. Everyone close your eyes. Yes, don't be afraid, I'm not gonna kill you, you're too many people, it will be hard to hide. So imagine that you found yourself in the middle of a tropical storm, under dim light, with that person that you are dying to kiss right now. Imagine all the things that you could be doing. No, don't imagine that. Open your eyes. That's another point. Power cuts. So, brownouts. Other types of brownouts are not that romantic. For example, they can be caused by an overloaded power grid. This is when everyone is demanding too much electricity, so the providers go, no, I'm gonna ration the amount of electricity that I give to each household, which means that everyone receives less power and everyone is running low on energy. Now this can seem like it's just inoffensive and annoying, you know? A flickering light, equipment that sort of works but sort of doesn't. But actually a brownout can cause permanent damage to your equipment. So my recommendation is to switch everything off during a brownout. Although, really, permanent damage to your equipment is nothing compared to everything that can happen during type 3. Total blackout. This is the most severe form of power cut out there. And the reason why it's so severe is because during a total blackout, the damage comes from the source of power. And if the damage comes from the source of power, we are all screwed.